What's going on, Compiform family? Luke Jones coming at you with the video. Wanted to make a little video regarding some of the Compiform products, some of the questions that you guys have had. And, excuse me, this is going to be a long video. So if you don't want to watch it and you're not interested, just shut it off. But I'm going to go in and talk about some of our products, answer some of the questions you guys have, and see if I can't show you some of the different items that I have here on the table. I have some items in the back that you can't see. I have a scale, I have a measurement tool, and again, I'm just gonna shoot the shit. Nothing is written down that I can really go in order from. So I'm gonna attempt to talk about some different things, and hopefully it will cover some of the questions that you've had, and I'll also go down the list from the questions you had in the group that I've posted regarding some of these products, and hopefully I can answer some of your questions. Now, one of the main questions I've gotten recently is, what are these things? So these are called Chetki. They are Russian rosary beads, and these are mostly made in jails, to be honest with you. Jails, I guess this is where the idea originated. These are made by billiard balls. So this is the black 8-ball, and this is the cue ball that you see in here. And what they do is, I guess there's a lot of time on people's hands in the prisons, and they are allowed to make such items, which is where it originated. And I know these two actually came from the prison system, I believe. Ivan Gostev gifted me this. I told him that I was very interested in some of the Chetki versions, and this is a very beautiful piece, very intricate. It's again made of cue ball and the black 8-ball. It's called a Russian rosary, or a prison rosary, flip rosary. And what you do is, and I can't really do it because my camera, the way it's set up, I'm going to hit my phone while I'm recording. But you flip it and you play with it, and you can roll it around. If you search by Chetki, Chetki, you will see some of these versions. They also have these versions. This is from Around Square. This is the titanium Remeshak, I believe it is, full titanium. This is the rosewood, I believe, and titanium, also from Around Square. And Matt is a great guy. He makes some really good products. They're pretty pricey. I think this one was $220, I want to say. And this one was, I believe, $170, if I'm not mistaken. So they're pretty pricey. This one was actually, I believe this one was around $275, to be honest with you. But this was a gift from Ivan Gostev. I did not pay for this. Ivan, you are so wonderful, and I really, really thank you for the gift that you've gotten me. You've been so kind to me, and I really, really thank you for that. This one I bought from someone in Russia who actually produced this, and he helped finish it, but the materials were all hand done. This is a cue ball, and it is gorgeous. And yeah, it's finished by the gentleman who I bought it from, but the pieces were made in a Russian prison, I am told, which is very cool, very neat. I don't know how true that is, but I have to take his word for it, because I'm assuming he's being honest with me, but I don't know. But at any rate, these are beautiful pieces. These are Chetki, and I'm going to set these to the side. So enough of that. So let's get to the Compiform stuff. By the way, Play for Beans, Mark Chang, he has a website out there. He has a group called Play for Beans. So go join his Facebook group. He has playforbeans.com, where he sells some really awesome items. He sells fidget tape for your fidgets. Really cool stuff, guys. So go check him out. So what I have in front of me is a few Compiform products that I will be getting into some detail about. But I'm going to start going through the questions that I see out here related to my post. And first we have Nate Demers. Nate, what's up, buddy? You're a great guy. I remember dealing with you for quite a while. You've been around for a long, long time, so I appreciate you commenting. Will there be any new designs for V4 standard price? All right, so this is the V4. This is called the Crater. The V4 came in 3 designs, I believe. We had the Tidal Wave, we had the Phantom, and we had the Crater. Okay, so this is the Crater version 4. The answer to your question is no, we're not going to be doing any new designs, any new patterns in the V4 standard. And the reason is the V4 was, it was something of a brainchild that Ivan came up with and I came up with, and we said, let's just make a larger slider than the V3. But I don't think it was as well received as we had hoped it was. So that is the reason why we're not making any new patterns or new designs for the V4 standard. So the V4 is basically what you see, what you get. And that's all we're going to do. I don't think we're going to do another run. I don't think Ivan is actually interested in another run. Again, we sold quite a few, but it wasn't as well received as we had hoped. So we are going to probably discontinue the V4. So if you want one and you see one, make a post on secondary and see if you can pick one up. They are fabulous, fabulous sliders. But I think people just preferred the smaller size of the V3. But I have to honestly say, I don't know. I prefer the V3, but I really love the V4. And if you have bigger hands, I think the V4 is definitely for you. Okay? So I hope that answers your question, Nate. Let's move on. Victor Del Vecchio. Question: why are there very limited exotic metals used in Compiform products? Is it the difficulty or resources that are not available? Okay, so a little bit of both. So any materials that Ivan uses related to, the exotics are very expensive. This unit in front of me is a version 4, and it is in Zircuti, okay? Zircuti, whatever you want to call it. And these units were produced in a limited run. I believe there was only 7 or 8 made. I can't remember. 7 maybe? And they are very expensive. And I think the price is commensurate with how it looks and, the finishing that goes into it. But it's very hard for Ivan to obtain exotic metals. And they're very expensive. So Ivan... they're also heavy. So Ivan told me that he doesn't prefer the heavier fidgets. I don't either, but a lot of you do. This one, I believe, weighs, let's see. I believe it's 80 grams, I want to say, but let's check. Let's see, turn on my scale. Yeah, 80 grams. So it's pretty heavy. A lot of Ivan's titanium stuff weighs... 50 grams at the most. So I think Ivan, was concerned about the weight of certain pieces. I know that he did some in Timascus. He did only like 3 units in Timascus. Very rare, very hard to come by, and very expensive. Ivan had to acquire the Timascus that he used at a show. So it was at Mad Russian Evening Gala where he bought some material. Again, it's not prevalent in Russia. So Ivan sources some of the best blackened titanium in the world. So titanium is very prevalent. And also titanium is Ivan Gostev's signature metal that he likes to use because of the weight, because of how it sounds, because of the cool, crisp clicks that it makes. And we actually love using titanium. Titanium can also take Ivan's proprietary scratch-resistant process, which is proprietary only to Compiform. Ivan mastered this technique in the knife community, and it takes really well to the titanium. So Ivan doesn't work very much with the exotic metals, but I've convinced him to do a few runs in exotics. But there won't be that many, I can tell you that. And I think it's just because Ivan prefers to work with titanium. So I don't know if that answers your question. I don't think it's difficult for the maker. It's definitely more time consuming. But Ivan is a master at what he does. I mean, just take a look at this. I mean, the pictures and the light reflecting off, you can't really see the pattern of the actual zircuti. But man, it is absolutely stunning. Gorgeous. This one's the Argyle pattern, which is my favorite. Okay, so very, very time consuming to make. And Compiform has not done many exotic metals. So I hope that answers your question. If it didn't, just let me know and I can go back to Ivan and get more information. All right, Jason Kramer says weights would be good to know. So weights, I think he said he's interested in knowing what the weights are for the, let's see, I think it's the V3 and the track sliders. So this is a track slider. This one is in Timascus. This one was a gift from Ivan Gostev. Ivan, you are amazing. Thank you for this beautiful gift. This is an OG V1.1 track slider, the only one that exists of its kind. Absolutely love it. And the V1.1 track sliders are absolutely amazing. They are one of my favorite, by far my favorite fidgets. They're just so elegant, so beautiful. It reminds me of opening and closing a Zippo, which I used to love to do when I was younger. So that's this one. This one is in Timascus. Again, beautiful piece. So let's get the weight of this guy. This one's 65 grams, which is pretty heavy. Actually, it's not heavy. It's perfect, actually. So this one is in titanium. So let's get the weight of this guy. 64 grams. So wow, the Timascus is actually about the same. So 64, 65 grams is what you're going to get off the OG V1.1 track slider. And then we will weigh up a V3. Japanese Sagaha pattern. 52 grams. Beautiful. So that's what the weight is of the version 3 and the V3 and the V1.1 track slider. Hope that answers your question. Ji Hoon, I want to know how to clean the V3 and V4 surfaces and sliding plates. All right, so the best way that I found to clean the plates is to actually take some soap and water and just rinse them under warm water. Just, I use Dawn dish soap, to be honest with you. And I just, very gently just go over the plates like that and just wash it. Don't sit there and soak it for hours, right? Just give it a quick soap down, a little quick rinse, and then dry it with a microfiber towel. That's what I do with these, and they stay beautiful. You have to check them every once in a while, because if you get some debris in there, you could risk scratching the plates. And I know someone who did scratch the plates. They got a little piece of metal in there, didn't notice it. It was like a small little metal shaving, and it really screwed them up as far as the plates, which was a complete bummer. All right, so that answers that question. Let's see. Might want to touch on coins for the newer people. Unfortunately, J. Duke McMahon, love you, buddy. We haven't produced any coins for quite a while. I had a couple of them, but I've since sold them to somebody who really, really wanted one of my coins. So I don't have any coins here to show you. Forgive me, but the coins came in a track slider format. Actually, not a track slider, but it had a little bead on the coin where you could move it around. It was just perfect. And then he made two versions. He made a haptic coin, and he made a kind of like the Tesseract, okay? Kind of like this. It had a little track in the coin, and it had this bead, and that bead flowed inside the track, okay? I'm going to talk about this one in a few, but we'll get to that later. So I'm sorry about that, J. Duke McMahon. We do have coins. They were produced in Medusa. There was the Moon coin. We called it Ivan the Cosmonaut. That coin was beautiful, very rare. There is one person that has a double-sided version of that coin, which is extremely rare. And what else was made? Let's see. The Medusa coin, like I said, absolutely stunning piece. And then the Moon coin. That's really what we... Oh, there's a Kraken coin, which is a V1, version 1. And then we moved to the version 2 with the hidden magnets on one side of the plates. The version 1 coins was called the Kraken coin. It was a picture of the octopus on it. Beautiful piece as well, but that one had exposed magnets. So that was the version 1. We had that coin as well. The coins, I believe, retailed for $300, I want to say, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember. But anyways, next question. Travis Patton, Custom Tesseract. I haven't seen that one. That didn't have a gem look in it. Cool. So the gem look he's referring to is this one. So this is the production model that he made, that Ivan made for the public. This one is in Timascus. He made that one specifically for me, which is gorgeous. I love it. But this one is extremely special. So this one was made by Ivan Gostev for my wife. Okay. This was a gift from Ivan to my wife. It is the Argyle Tesseract. One of one. And it is absolutely gorgeous. She loves it. Thank you, Ivan Gostev, for this beauty. It is absolutely beautiful. Very soft, very velvety in the hand. The Tesseract is such a beauty. Oh my gosh. The Tesseract is very, very loud. Okay. So it's not for the faint of heart. Now, Ivan doesn't go for producing the loudest fidgets. That's not really his goal. But he does love to produce the ones with the most extreme, crispy clicks. Okay. Very soft, very velvety in the hand. This one does have a little bit of sharp edges, but come on, guys. You know, it's nothing that's going to hurt a man's hands or even a girl's hands, in my opinion. But, you know, what do I know? Some people did complain because it was too sharp, but it's not to me. I mean, I could play with this all day and not get tired of it. The Tesseract is probably one of my all-time favorites. I just love the way it moves. There's so much you can do with it, and it's absolutely phenomenal. So if you see one of these on the secondary, you better get one because they're not going to be made again. I don't think anyways. I know that the slide kick is not going to be made again. Let me show you that one real quick. Slide kick. This is Cracked Earth. Fascinating unit. Will never be made again. I love this thing. It is absolutely one of my favorite fidgets as well. I love Compiform. Compiform products are just like, you know, they're the Ferrari of fidgets. You pay for what you get. They're seamless. They're beautiful. They're very elegant. They're like the Rolex of fidgets, okay? They're beautiful. And they just the feel of a Compiform. You'll know once you get it in your hand. Especially, I know there's some of you that have not had a chance to pick up your first Compiform yet. But when you do, you'll know what I'm talking about. Because they are absolutely phenomenal. The way they look, the way they feel, they're soft. They're beautiful. No other maker makes fidgets the way Ivan Gostev does. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's some beautiful pieces out there. So I think the top three are Magnus, not in any specific order, Compiform, and then Modus Works. So I think Modus Works is probably number one right now. Compiform, 100% close second. And then you have Magnus. And all great sliders, great groups, great people in those groups. You got Jonas Nix over at Modus Works. You have Magnus group, Facebook group. Janet Hobson is the moderator of Modus Works. And then you have Hugh McGuyan, who is the moderator over at Magnus Fidgets. And then you got me over at Compiform. So great places to be. Go check them out. You will love those groups. And if you have any questions, contact Hugh. He's a great guy. Good to see, by the way, Hugh, that Magnus recognized you for your contributions and gave you a little gift that was well deserved. And I'm glad to see that. And Janet Hobson is also great. She's over at ModusWorks. You have any questions regarding the ModusWorks sliders? Great community. Everybody works together answering questions. And Janet can also help with questions or concerns. And over here at Compiform, I try to answer all customer questions. If you have any issues, concerns, or anything, I'm definitely very fast to answer any questions and help you guys out. Now, I appreciate you guys who comment in the group to help other people out. So thank you for that. You know who you are. And you know what, guys? I remember, who's there, commenting and helping others out. And once in a while, I'll get these poker chips, and I give them out at random to people who buy our products. And I will include one for the people that, do comment and help other members who are very active in the group. And, I appreciate that. So, of course, I'm going to provide you a poker chip if I have one. So, the poker chips are given to me by Ivan Gostev. And when they are given to me, I don't put them with every order, nor were they promised to be for every order. They're only for to be given away at random. So I only have so many. Sometimes I'll get 10. Sometimes I'll get 15. Sometimes I won't get any. And they're not promised for every order, just so you guys know. I give them out at random. I put all your names in a generator, and I pick the names, and I send them out. If I have enough, I'll put them in every order. If I don't, you won't get them. And that's just all there is to it. But appreciate everyone who's commented in the group, trying to help each other out. So, again, this is the Argyle pattern. Tesseract. Beautiful, beautiful piece. Very soft, very velvety. My wife loves this. I steal it from her every chance I get. It's just gorgeous. All right. So that is the Tesseract in the Argyle pattern. Gift from Ivan Gostev. All right. Arthur Kureyev. Dope Chetki. Hell yeah, man. I love Chetki so much. I just ordered another set. So this is not the Remashak then. These are the Poznikov, I think they're called. Forgive me, because I think I said Remashak, so I messed up on that. But I ordered a Skeltized version from that person. So, Mindy C. Jones, how are you there? Can you touch on magnet strength? Very important subject. How easy, hard are they to push for each model of the 3-click free-floating slider? I seem to prefer weaker magnets than most people, and I'm unsure what model might work for me since the magnets can't be modified. Thank you. Yes. So Compiform's signature design or pattern, this is going to be hard to focus, is seamless right here on the edges. So Ivan Gostev does that. And I have asked him to make consider making a modular slider. He doesn't feel the need. He loves the way the seams are. And I have to agree with them. They're absolutely beautiful. It is minimalistic. It causes these beautiful, crisp clicks. And I have to agree with him. I think that he does it perfect at what it is. So this is not modular. It's perfect at what it is, okay? So I can definitely touch on magnet strength. So this is a V3. This is also a V3. So there was 2 iterations of V3. The first one had stronger magnets, so the first pre-order. This is from the first pre-order. Now, you've probably never seen this pattern or design because this was created by Ivan for me. It is a one-of-a-kind. I absolutely love this pattern. It's called the Trippy. I named it, and it's absolutely beautiful. This one was very difficult to make. I don't know if Ivan will be making these again in this pattern, but I absolutely love it. So thank you, Ivan, for making this for me. So let's get back to version 3 and the magnet strength. So this is an OG V3 with the stronger magnets. Now, when I push this up, it is very easy to move for me, but it's stronger than the newer iteration of the version 3. And I don't have a newer iteration. Actually, I do. Hold on. This is my Alien version 3. Again, 1 of 1. This was a gift again from Ivan Gostov. Thank you, Ivan. This one is a newer iteration of the version 3. And you can tell by the plates. This plate has a wigwag pattern. I think Gavin Sexton called it wigwag, so I just went with that, and that's what I call it. Wigwag, zigzag, whatever you want to call it. This one has the wave pattern. It's more of a big, large wave. This is the second iteration of version 3, and this is the first iteration of version 3. So this one has the stronger magnets, so it feels very nice. And this one has the weaker magnets. Also phenomenal. But this one has a hybrid setup, okay? So the magnets in the middle are a little bit weaker than the magnets on the side, okay? They do the same thing. You can do the same tricks, okay, as this one, except the magnets are a little bit stronger, okay? I have tape on this one, so it's pretty silent. And Mark Chang sells tape over at Play for Beans, and his tape is the best tape in the world. That's all I recommend. That's all I use. But I love the way this slider functions. I put the tape on it so it glides a little bit easier. So, I mean, it's very subtle. It's not strong at all. I mean, it's not strong, but it's stronger than the second iteration V3. Okay? I don't know if that answers your question, but this one's very easy, very light. So if you like weaker magnets and your preference is weaker, I would go with the second iteration. Now, there's one thing I want to mention. There is a square corner V3. You can see it. It's squared. It's got the square corners, square top. That is the first iteration V3. Then, I know this is the version 4, but I want to show you the rounded corners. So if you look at this closely, it's got a beveled edge, and it comes down a little bit. That is called rounded corners, okay? The second iteration of the V3 all had rounded corners. This one didn't, because I asked Ivan to keep the square corners for me. I prefer the square corners. Now, I love the way he did the V3 with the rounded corners. They are beautiful, but for some strange reason, I just prefer the squared corners. Maybe because I'm an OG guy. So, I mean, it's not much of a difference. Very subtle in the square, but it is more rounded in the corners. And I know this is a V4, but I'm just showing you that rounded corners versus square corners, okay? So I hope that makes sense. They are very easy to push on both versions, except you will feel the stronger magnets in the first iteration. They're not unbearably strong, nowhere near as close as the Magnus magnets. I would say they feel like a Modus Works regular magnet setup. I think he calls them, what does he call them? I know he doesn't call them weak magnets, but he calls them, can't remember. I consider them, you know, the non-strong magnets of Modus Works. That's what these feel like. So the weak magnets, I forget what he calls them, but that's what this feels like, okay? The Modus Works weak magnets. They're not called weak. I forget what he calls them, but they're not weak. Okay, this one feels a little bit less strong, and it's absolutely perfect. It's not, so this hybrid, it will not allow it to fall easily, but they feel weaker than the original V3, the first iteration. First iteration, second iteration. The second iteration had more rounded, beveled edges, okay? and that was done for aesthetics. But I asked Ivan to make me a second iteration V3 that had the square corners, just because I liked the square corners. I like the round corners as well, but I think I prefer the square corners a little bit more. All right. I hope that answers your question. And you're right, the magnets cannot be modified, but it's absolutely brilliant the way Ivan puts these together. They're absolutely perfect. And when you get your Compiform, your first Compiform, you're going to be blown away. That's all I can tell you. Oh, let's see. Our V3 and V4 by Mindy Jones again. Our V3 and V4, the only 3-click free-floating sliders. Yes, they actually no, they're not. We also made a V2, version 2, which is in the Argyle pattern. All right, so this is a V1.1 track slider. I'll get to this in a minute, but it's the Argyle pattern, okay? And it is in this shape, okay? It was called the V2, and it allowed you to flip it. You could flip it on this side. You could flip it on that side. You could play it on both sides, okay? The only thing with the V2, and I don't have one in front of me, was that it had very weak magnets, okay? Even more weak than the second iteration of the V3. And this was done because when you flipped it, it had to be able to play on both sides. That unit is absolutely amazing. I sold mine to a good friend of mine who begged me for it, so it's gone. But the V2 had weaker magnets than the second iteration of the V3. Very weak magnets. People also had a couple complaints about those because they felt like the magnets were too weak. But that's what made it such a beautiful unit, is that it could be played on both sides. You could literally take this, flip it, and play it on this side, flip it back, and play it on this side, okay? It was absolutely phenomenal. That was the V2 track slider that came in the Argyle pattern. It was solid black. The plates were also Argyle, could be flipped and played on both sides. Beautiful slider. Maybe someone can tag Mindy C. Jones in this post and show her what a V2 looks like and how you can play it on both sides. I'd appreciate that, guys. All right. Jeff Paul, free floating sliders, sizes and weights. What is still being made and what isn't? Prices. All that is available to newer people is the info you put in the drops at the time those drops happen. I would love to actually see and hear those free floating sliders perform. Okay. V3 with tape on it. No tape. V3, second iteration. Version 4. You hear those swipes? I swear nobody makes the noises Compiform makes is just absolutely amazing. All right, that's what the version 4 sounds like. Here's another V3. Oh, here's a good representation. So this is exactly what the V2 looks like. That's what it looks like, just like that. Now this is a V3 with custom Argyle plates. Jacob Yoon. Jacob loves this slider. He's been trying to get it off me for a while. I love Jacob. Hi, Jacob. If you're watching this, love you, buddy. All right, so that's what the V3 sounds like. Let's see, what else? Free floating sliders. That's pretty much what I have for free floaters, if that's what you meant, Jeff Ball. So what is being made still? We just had the V4 pre-order, so that one is complete. We are still making a version 3 3D slider. Those can still be purchased, but they're a lot more pricey in the 3D models. They're $860. And the reason is because of how they're made. The amount of work that goes into a 3D model is way more intense than what goes into the regular V3. We had a V3 run probably, I don't know, it was a few months ago. So that's over. We'll probably bring the V3 back again. Just don't know when, so stay tuned for that. But if you're looking for one, throw a post up in the group. Someone will have one. All right, we're at 36 minutes, so this video is going to be really long. So sorry, I apologize for that, guys. Version 4 in Zircuitai. Okay. And let's see. Okay. So then we also have the SB3, which is available. I know it's not a free floater. It's a tray slider, but this is available. So there are no free floating sliders available right now. If you want one, just put a post up in the group and search up, but be careful who you buy from. Make sure you vet that person. You know, ask. It's a small community, so ask around. Ask people if you know this guy, this person. You can ask me, and I will definitely let you know if that person's legit or if I know them or whatever the case may be. All right, I hope that answers the question. I know we will be doing more runs of the V3. We won't be doing the V4 anytime soon, but I think we're going to be doing V3 and V2 again. I have an idea that was given to me by a good friend of mine. We discussed it back and forth, and I'm like, hey, you know what? This is going to be a good idea. I want to do this. So that's a surprise. It's up and coming. Stay tuned to the group because we have some really cool stuff that we're going to release, and it's going to be great. Eddie Horsey, so jealous of that special purple piece for the Tesseract. Calling dibs now on that shit. For my Purple Passion collection. If you ever decide to let it go, let me know, or LOL. Yes, this is a bad boy right here. I'll tell you that. Would my wife sell it? I don't know, man. You got to ask her. I have no idea if she would, but it's absolutely gorgeous. Fidgets like a dream. Purple Tesseract. All right. In Argyle pattern. Let's see. What else? Am I missing anything? Let me just go back through the comments and see if I'm missing anything. I don't think I've missed anyone, and I think that's all the questions I have. So I'm going to wrap that up. Now I'll talk about the SBS side by slide. Okay. This is a tray slider. Love this thing. It's absolutely phenomenal. Very soft in the hand, very delicate. It's a tray slider that's got the 2 buttons. Okay. This one is in the Damasteel pattern. This is actually titanium, not Damasteel. The pizza bead was a gift from Ivan Gostev, made by the Peshkov brothers. Beautiful bead, very intricate, gorgeous. I think it's made in bronze or brass. Love that bead. Love this piece too. Okay. And then we have the SB3. This is the pre-order that's currently going on right now. This thing is absolutely phenomenal. You will love this piece. The pre-order is still going on. I know there's people that could not pay using Boosty. So if you're still trying to get one of these, send me a DM because I think I can help you out. We'll discuss it through DM on how I can help and take it from there. Okay. This is the SB3. Love this slider. Absolutely gorgeous. And the intricacy on these pieces, oh man, it just pops. And this is the scratch resistant process that I was talking about that Compiform uses. This is all scratch resistant. Now you are rubbing metal on metal, but the magnets are recessed enough to where they don't touch. So you're not going to rub that magnet off. You take care of your stuff. It will repay you with many, many years of service. Okay. SB3 by Compiform. Beautiful unit. Go get one if you don't have one. If you want to get on the pre-order, just let me know and I can help you. If you don't want to pay through Boosty, I think I can help you. So send me a DM. Now, one thing I want to mention is if you are interested in any of the pieces that we have on the Boosty site, you will only be able to order what's available. So if you go out there and you see the link for the V3 and it's out there, the custom V3, that's $860. You can go ahead and donate to the maker. Now, the reason why he is using the Boosty website for payments is because obviously there is conflict that is going on, which we do not condone, by the way. It's hurt the business quite a bit. Compiform used to have a website where you could purchase at your leisure any unit that you wanted. And because of this conflict, we had to shut the website down, and Ivan was restricted and limited in how we could get funds over to the maker. So long story short, it's all but really affected our, Ivan's business, I should say. So we are forced to be limited in how Ivan can produce these units and get them out to the public. All right, so we appreciate your understanding with these units, and I just want to say thank you for being patient and still supporting Compiform's products. Okay, weights. Let's go over a little bit of the weight. And I think we can go over, some measurements real quick too. $66 grams on the Timascus V1.1 OG track slider. 68 grams on the Tesseract. $76 grams on the Crater. 80 grams on the Zircuti V4. Japanese Sagaha V3, first iteration, 53.6. Trippy, first iteration, 50.7. V3, second iteration with the newer plates, 51.4. Perfect weight for a Compiform piece, in my opinion. I love the V3. I love the V4. However, it is a little bit larger, a little bit more bulkier and heavier. This is the Phantom, which is a little bit thinner, 63 grams. And you will notice right away how much thinner it is than the Crater. Okay? So it's going to feel different. Now, let's take some measurements. Get the scale off of here. Let's weigh this one too, just for the hell of it. This is a V1 Argyle track slider. 79.2. This is what started it all. This is in brass. Actually, brass or bronze, I can't remember. I purchased this directly from the pre-order long ago. This is really what started it all for me and for a lot of people. And they are very highly in demand right now. You see one of these, grab it. I don't care if it's $600, $700, grab it. This is one of the best sliders ever made. And the reason why I say that is because it's so thin. The way it feels is just absolutely amazing. Now, You will get some bounce with it though. Sometimes it'll fall off the track. See? See, sometimes it'll fall because it's so thin. But this one truly feels like a Zippo. See, it fell off the track again. See that? So it does fall off the track a little bit more than your version 1.1, which is this guy. This one has the hidden magnets. Okay. This one has the exposed magnets. Okay. Yeah, you just got to take care of the magnets and they'll last a long time. I just wipe them down, keep them clean, keep them away from moisture. But this one truly feels like a Zippo lighter, like literally the same exact thing. That's why I like it so much. All right, this is probably my favorite slider by Compiform, and I have a couple of them. Okay, this is black titanium, high polish. Look at the magnets on this guy. Pristine mint. You ain't gonna see that often, I'll tell you that. Most people that have these, magnets are messed up, and if you try to replace them, it can screw up the slider. Oh, see, it fell off the track. But that's the thing with these. They fall off the track a little bit, but they're so fun and they feel so soft, delicate. I just love this piece. Oh, man. Okay. That's that. Now, what was I saying? Okay, back to measurements. Let's see if we can measure these. So this is version 4. Let's get a measurement on this guy. Okay, there's the measurement on that. And the thickness. All right. And let's go to the other Phantom V4. That is much less thick, I can tell you that. Yeah, so a lot thicker, but the dimensions are the same. A lot less thick rather than the Crater, but the dimensions on length and width is the same. Now we'll take V3. All right, that is version 3. Same thing. And your version 2 is going to be the same exact specs as this guy. All right. And let's do a V1 track slider. Extremely thin at 9.58 millimeters. So pretty close to the Phantom, I'd say. Yeah, 11. Okay, let me take the Tesseract. Let's do the production model. Okay, that's the Tesseract. We'll do the side-by-side, side-by-slide rather. Okay, and finally the SB3. Okay. And let's do one more. Let's do the slide kick. Slide kick, never be made again. So if you have one, I'd hold on to it. It's a phenomenal unit, and it is pretty badass to play. Kind of reminds me of like worry beads that you play, like a lot of people in Europe like to play with, Middle East play with worry beads. And this feels like worry beads. Okay. Sorry guys, I'm having trouble with the camera. I'm trying to figure out where things are displayed on the screen, but doing my best here. All right, that is what I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. This is a representation of some of our sliders, and just to let you know that currently what is available is the SBS, and soon we will be putting out another slider, I believe. So I have some ideas. I've been working with Ivan Gostev. I've been working with Ivan for many years. I am helping him out with his Facebook group. I run his group. I help him with the products, the listings, so that Ivan can stay focused on creating art, because that's what he does best. My real name is Jeffrey Hanna. Pluke Jones is actually my best friend's name. We're going to keep that story pretty short, but he was a best friend of mine who got killed in Detroit, Michigan, and I miss him dearly. Always kept his name because of how much I love him. And he was my best friend, and they killed him. So that's where the name Pluke Jones comes from, just so you're aware. And again, I've been with Ivan for a very long time, and I help him do a lot for the group and to keep him focused on what he's doing as far as creating the art. I don't think I've missed anything. If I did, just let me know and I'll help answer your questions. All right. Love you guys. Thank you for being part of this group. I'm sorry for the long video. I hope you enjoyed it. And again, thank you so much for your support. Have a great day, guys.